Hello boys and girls and welcome to Breakthrough. Grab a snack and a drink, sit down. Today we're going to build an M18 hellcat. This is a little kit I bought a while ago whilst I was on holiday. It's a kit designed for a tabletop game, but today I'm going to build it for my display. So to start with, I've checked over all the kit, make sure everything was there, and then proceed to start on the hull of the tank. Just like most kits, we got to file down the cuts and the marks on the wheels to make sure they are smooth. Doing so can make a huge difference between whether a model looks finished or not. After this, I'm gluing on the sprocket and the last road wheel to where the tracks will go. However, I will not be gluing on the tracks yet, as I wish to paint them later on. After that, I started work on the inner side of the hull. I did kind of paint this, although I did go back later and actually paint it again because there was no reason for me to actually paint this just now, because I could have just taken off the turret and then painted the whole thing in a go, but I didn't realize that until later on. So there was no reason to actually paint this, but yeah. Assembling the hull was quite easy, although I did file down the outer side of the tank to make sure that everything was smooth so that when the primer goes on I don't have any hitches or little bumps or anything like that that would make the model look unfinished. Afterwards, I glued it on the back of the tank and the tools, as I can always paint these later after I've done the base color, as this could help with shadows and such, and creates its own little like area where the tools would sit and stuff. Moving on to the turret, I started with the ammo rack. It's a little piece you glue together. It just sort of like sits there. You glue this onto the inside of the turret. Then I glued the actual turret together using the two sides of the turret that we had, as well as the turret ring. I think this is one of the first models where I've actually built a turret ring, which was interesting, but it helped. It helped with sort of how things were supposed to be orientated and all that. So when that was put together, when that was done, the turret was practically ready to actually put the final set of the pieces together. Next, I glued on the little machine gun port area where like the machine gun would, like the little like coaxial machine gun would be. This is also technically a little bit of extra armor, but next was gluing the main barrel on the actual turret itself. We had a choice of 4 barrels. There was 2 75mm and 2 76mm. Both of those had a muzzle brake version and a non-muzzle brake version. For this one though, I've decided I'm going to go with a 76mm muzzle brake one because that's the one that I personally like the most. After that, it was finally time to put on the little details at the end, the stowage, like the stowage racks, the 50 caliber, and the radio antenna. These little parts actually are quite good if you want to put any more stowage in it. I'm not going to do any stowage on this one because I just sort of wanted to build the tank base kit. I know other model kit channels use like photo etch and, you know, their own stuff and all that to make sort of these tanks look a bit more vibrant. But for this one, as it's my first video on my channel, I've decided that we're just going to stick with the base model kit. Maybe in a future episode I might buy a few photo etch kits for some of the tanks that I'm going to be building, and then, you know, maybe apply them later on. With all that done, it's time to put the turret on the hull, and that brings an end to this first video on this channel. Next time I will go on to paint the hellcat itself. I'm going to start with an olive drab as the base coat, and I'm planning on making this thing look a little bit dirty and stuff like that. I'm using a couple of methods from different channels and all that, so stay tuned for that, I guess. I'm planning on making these videos every week, so it should be every Friday a video comes out on this channel. But I also do have a full-time job and college to balance alongside this, so I hope I can live up to that promise. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this first video. If you have, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, so you can stay tuned for the next video and any future videos I release. So, yeah, for now, hope to catch you guys in the next episode. See ya.